Hello everyone and welcome to my November regular video. This past week we had the inauguration of the new council, and that's why I'm wearing my chain of office today. And my plan for this month's video is to go over my inaugural address so that folks have a general idea of some of the priorities and challenges that we're going to face in the next four-year term. So let me start by saying this is an important event. The inauguration is an important event in the history of Rideau Lakes. In 2023, the Township of Rideau Lakes will celebrate 25 years as a municipality, and we have the privilege of serving as your council for 4 years starting this week. I do want to thank the voters of Rideau Lakes who 3 weeks ago gave me an incredible vote of confidence, an increased share of your vote, and the opportunity to continue to serve you. As has been the case in the past, we will have a council that is a great mix of incumbents and new members. I look forward to working with all of them as a team to provide efficient and effective local government. 4 years ago, I gave my first inaugural address and promised significant change. The past council delivered on all of the changes and priorities that were laid out at that time. And I want to take a few minutes today to lay out my priorities for this new term. If we work as a council team, with staff support, I expect we will have continued success. Last week, I met individually with each selected member of this team to discuss the challenges and the priorities and to help determine the various committee appointments. Every effort was made to balance the workload and take advantage of councillors' strengths and their interests. What they told me was that we need to address projects such as the municipal hub, our new fire hall, and our campground expansion rules. We need to renew our strategic plan in order to bring focus to our efforts and to ensure that our resources are well spent. We need to ensure that all growth is environmentally sustainable, taking into account lake health, particularly as all of that work relates to our many waterfront lands. There's much work to be done. As your mayor, I will encourage councillors to not only look after the interests of their ward, but to consider that we are one municipality. We will need to make tough decisions, and I hope we're not led astray by vocal minorities, but make decisions for the long-term good of the entire township. Here's a brief list of what we should continue to work towards during our 4-year term. First, let's get on with the building of a multi-purpose municipal hub in Portland, including offices, library, and community hall, the reinstatement of the playground, and the disposition of any surplus lands. Let's get on with the building of a new fire hall to better serve our citizens. Let's continue to target fiscal sustainability by managing our overall debt and building our reserves. Let's maintain a tax rate that is the third lowest in all of Leeds and Grenville, despite the fact that we expect, with the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, new assessment values to come in the near future. Let's continue to be accountable and transparent, consult on major issues, and sort out the virtual attendance versus the in-person attendance that we've struggled with during COVID. Let's work with staff to create a new 10-year strategic plan. Let's bring closure to the issue of campground expansion and licensing. Let's challenge our staff to streamline our operations, cut bureaucracy, and continue to focus on customer service. Let's support our many awesome volunteers, both in the fire department and the community. Let's continue our very successful community enhancement committees and our Rideau Lakes Lake Association committee. Let's continue to put pressure on the county to do a better job of maintaining our roads here in Rideau Lakes. Let's build on the valuable cultural, heritage, and tourism resources we have here in Rideau Lakes. Let's update the zoning bylaw with a goal to have it in place by the end of next year. Let's build on the recreational services, the facilities and the programs that we're so proud of, and that we have to ensure that they serve the full range of ages. Let's remember that our population mix includes a senior population that is 25% higher than the provincial and national averages. Let's reassess our broadband partnership with WTC and the other levels of government to see where we go next as rural broadband leaders in Ontario. Cell coverage must also be improved. Let's take action to develop surplus lands for more accessible and affordable housing options. Let's ensure that our key municipal service areas of waste, recycling, and infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and sidewalks are prioritized. Let's work with our federal and provincial members to ensure we collaborate on joint ventures. Let's continue to target abandoned properties that need to be redeveloped. The example that comes to mind is the recent purchase of the maple syrup factory, former maple syrup factory in Delta. Let's encourage staff in the community to access programs and grants that will enhance our quality of life. Let's not leave the poor in our community behind. We need to support social agencies, churches, and services such as food banks and service clubs. Let's finally get that roundabout at the Crosby intersection done. Let's celebrate our 25-year history and any and all accomplishments that are made during this time. Let's continue to support economic development and the vitality of our villages and hamlets. Let's complete the mitigation around our closed Portland landfill. Let's work for a smooth transition to producer responsibility for recycling. And let's appreciate our excellent staff and acknowledge that our success depends on their success. So that is almost 30 areas where we need to work on to have a successful 4-year term. And I hope we can have some fun while we undertake the serious work needed to continue to build the positive reputation of the Township of Rideau Lakes. Finally, let me put out some new initiatives that I will be asking this council to consider. Over the next 4 years, let's work towards doubling the number of mandatory septic inspections. We currently do 300 a year. I would hope that in the 4-year time we'd be able to increase that to 600. Let's consider the use of community safety zones for our very busiest township roads. Golf Club Road and Summers Roads come to mind. Let's embed an annual grant to our primary hospital in Perth Smith Falls into the budget. Let's consider a small application-based grant for major private road capital improvements in addition to our current funding program. Let's make a greater effort to educate and engage our youth on civic matters. And on that note, I'm very pleased to note that we had students from the grade 10 civic class from Rideau District High School attend the inauguration. Let's revisit the viability of the township providing a large item waste pickup service on a cost recovery basis. And importantly, let's consider developing a climate change policy and an action plan. Let's get a new property standards bylaw in place to ensure that minimum maintenance standards can be effectively enforced. And let's get behind the fundraising initiative for the new 192-bed Mapleview Lodge long-term care facility in Athens. So, as you heard, there will be no shortage of work or opportunities for all members of council to contribute during this term of council. I do want to thank our vocalist, Raza, for her rendition of O Canada, and Pastor Bob for his words of encouragement and prayer. And thank you to our staff who managed to pull a very successful inaugural event together. My commitment to you is to continue to work hard and do my best to provide the leadership this wonderful township deserves. Councillors, I challenge them to bring their diverse skills to the council table, along with the willingness to work as a team. Thank you all.